Alright guys, welcome to Wearable Wednesday. Thank you guys for coming on back. Today we're gonna have a little lesson on making some textures and making some texture maps. So I'm gonna just kind of teach a couple tricks I know and kind of run you through the process of what I do. So we're gonna get right started. So as you can see, I have this program called Graphic open. It's a program on Mac I use. I believe it's a paid program, like $15. It's not much. It's a great program. It's kind of like a really advanced Microsoft Paint. You can really make some great textures with it. I use this if I'm not using my Procreate on my iPad. So what we're going to do is I pulled up this image of a couple different outfits. So I'm going to kind of just run through four different, how we would get these. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. All right, so we can see this better. So as you see, I'm actually having a file that is 512 by 512 pixels, which is what we're supposed to do in the game. Oh, ball sacks. 1 second. I do this sometimes. Okay, there we go. We're back. Alright, so what we're going to do here is, we're going to start making some squares that make up these colors. So we're only allowed a certain amount of textures when we're doing these wearables. We're only allowed 2 textures. They have to be 512 by 512, and they have to not go over that amount. So if we have like a jacket with an undershirt that's green, we can see that we have 3-4 colors here. But how do we accomplish that without having 4 different textures? So what we have to do is make a texture map. So the way we do that is we can easily do it by grabbing a square tool. And this can work on any painting program. So I'm just going to grab a square tool and I'm going to go over to my color tab over here. And I'm just going to use the magnifier. So this magnifier allows me to zoom in and choose certain colors based on my concept art. So, we have all these different colors in here as you're seeing. There's a different shade up in here for a shadow. This comes out to green more. You don't have to include the shadow, but it makes it more look realistic. So, we're just kind of cruising around seeing what textures we have. And we're going to start out with our lightest texture. So we can see that our lightest texture is this white. So we're just going to make sure that we have that white up there. It might not look like anything right now, but this color could also be very, very faintly different than the white background that we already have. I can kind of see it on my computer. It's very faint, but that's okay. We want to make sure we get the exact colors from our concept art. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a copy and a paste to a new color. Our next color, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab a magnifying glass. We're going to go to this grayish material, which is our next lightest color. So as you can see, actually, we have a little bit of it. We have a little bit of a lighter color. So if we go back in the magnifying, we can see up here, it's a little bit lighter. So we want to make sure we include that so we can get this realistic look. So as you see, I'm just adding some new squares, doing the same magnifying thing, and we're just literally getting these colors here. So we have 3 colors so far. I'm just going to keep adding. So we're going to look for our next color, which looks to be this grayish material. So, if you guys remember high school art class, elementary school art class, we're just building a palette here. We're just building something we can base everything off of. So now we're going to get, that inside darker gray. We'll actually take our grays. We'll move them down here. We'll use this to get these other colors. this more greenish color. And as you see, we're just getting darker green, and that's what they've kind of really used with this palette. We're gonna see, you know, probably want to switch those up. This one's a little darker. And as you see, we're now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 textures, and we can do this all under one. So we're gonna actually zoom in a little bit more just to see if we're missing any colors. So we're gonna actually copy that, and just for demo's sake, we'll do it again and we'll get that other green. Move this gray down here, move this green up here, and make sure that this green is the darker green. Okay, and make sure this is the lighter green. Boom. Very light difference. Oh, shush, Roscoe. Alright, so we can see that we've gotten pretty much all these different colors in this jacket. Roscoe, shh. Sorry about that, that was my dog. So yeah, I mean, we're literally just building this simple texture all on one 5x12. Roscoe, shush. Alright, so now we want to decide if, you know, we want to do solid colors. So right now we've decided that these guys are solid colors. So this is a very basic wearable build right here. If we wanted to step the game up a little bit, we could add a texture that would match these colors. Now how we would do that is we would have to do an online search for a texture that was a keyword called seamless. A seamless texture is no matter how large you expand it and stretch it, it will stay uniform. It won't look like there's a bunch of block pictures. You can stretch it out and makes it look like material. If you've seen my Blue Dragon kimono, that is using a crushed velvet texture I purchased. A great resource. I'm just gonna pull up the page. We have, let me just switch over to the OBS. Where is Google? Sorry, I'm a little OBS newbie. Why isn't it showing? Okay, so it's not showing up for some reason. So basically, for the people that are in Decentraland and on the video as well, a great resource is Etsy. And when I'm looking for this Google, Etsy, you can purchase commercial rights to a design. You have to make sure you read the description and make sure that you are in fact buying a purchase license, not a free commons license. There's a lot of different textures that we can explore and use. So if I can, I don't know why this is allowing me to do Google. Can I do screen display capture? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do display capture, and we're gonna transform. Okay, so for the people in Decentraland, now I have it all pulled up. So, you know, using Etsy, we can search for different seamless textures. And as you see, I just searched for a gold seamless texture. We can do clothing seamless. This will be seamless texture. So as you can see that we have like, this one is a great set of jeans. These are all seamless jean textures. This would be great for using for pants or a jean jacket. You know, we can explore Rust and Grit, Ancient Scrolls, This is a great place to look for realistic textures. For the sake of the video, I'm going to really make it simple first. We're just going to work with the colors. So let's make sure that OBS is on the right thing. All right, so now we have, our basic look. But what if we wanted to make like, the t-shirt underneath have a logo? We just add the same thing as a texture, So what we're going to do down here is a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to shrink this guy down because we're going to be putting it in here. This can't be black back here. So we have to make this a PNG. So I'm going to make this a PNG really quickly and just preview. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So if we pull this item up in preview, open it up a little bit, go into edit mode, and we use this, the magic, this guy. This little magic guy is called Instant Alpha. If you literally just highlight and click, it'll cut it out like a PNG for you. So you can see that this is now a PNG. So if we wanted to include this into our document, we would just, grab a box, hit Control, copy. And we'll delete that guy and we'll paste in the new guy. And we know that it's the lighter green, so we can grab the green. We'll arrange this and send it to the back. So what we're going to do down here is we're going to make this texture much larger. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we can then stretch it out and hide it so it looked like it was a part of the t-shirt. I'm just going to line this guy all up. This up. There we go. And as you see, we are just building our texture map in here. We want to make sure we can do all the colors that are on here. We also see that we missed a color. So we're going to slide these over. And the color that we missed is the line. So this would be typically looked past on a typical design concept. There's these lines of the jacket right in here. That's a different color. Look at that. That's a different color. So we want to make sure that that's not black, because typically when you do outlines, you think it's black. Well, if you wanted to make it look more realistic, most things in life are not truly black. They are different shades of gray, different shades of blue, purple, red. There's all different shades of black, and it's very important when designing wearables that you know that there's all these different colors of black that aren't actually black. It's just a very deep, deep color. So you want to keep that in mind. So let's just see if we have anything else, and I don't think we do. So now we can actually get ready to do this. We're going to back out. And we can leave those right there because we are on our canvas. We're not going to export these here. So we're just going to do a file export PNG. And I'm just going to name this HK jacket. Alright, I'm going to pull open Blender. And I'm just going to import a base model. So we're going to basically just see how we use this texture here that we just made. So we're going to select the upper body. And we're not going to build out it or anything, but I'm going to show you how to use this. We're going to go into face mode. We're going to do tri-quads. And we can see that's much simpler to look at. So as we knew in the jacket, it was an open jacket with a green background. So what we want to do first is we want to open up this texture. We want to leave avatar skin for now. We're just going to add a new texture. We're going to upload that texture that we just made. All right, so now we have it in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select and we're gonna click and highlight this front piece that is our first green piece. We want to make sure we're in color mode too so we can see it. So this is the inner piece that's going to be using it. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna pull up this screen down here. We're gonna go into UV editor. And we're gonna open that texture we just made. And as you see, it's a clear PNG, so we can, manipulate it any way we want. We don't have an absolute white background here. So if we hit A on our keyboard, we can see where this guy's gonna end up. So we're gonna start by adding it just to this green texture. You can also use it on this green texture because we're gonna put the HK back here. So we have to make sure that our material, our new HK jacket is labeled. And then we're gonna hit assign. And as you see, it colors that. We wanna make sure that our specular down here is all the way turned down, just so we can see the color nice and nice. So now we wanna make sure that we color our first section first, and then the next point is to add in the below t-shirt. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna select this area in here by holding shift and clicking. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an unwrap. So we're gonna right click down in our UV editor and we're just gonna hit unwrap. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get this to the right rotation and we're gonna size it down. Now typically with a t-shirt, if we were to go like this, well, what t-shirt has that small of a logo? Not many. So we wanted to make it really big in the sense of it doesn't get lost, but it also kind of tells the story, making it look like there's a shirt under there. You could also make it look like there was a chest pocket. So we can do like a chest pocket piece, we'll select and highlight these, drag them back up to the green. And as you see, we're kind of emulating that there's a t-shirt under there. This will work if you want to have a jacket with a little bit more depth in it. And it'll really help you out in that sense. So now we can, kind of start working through. A great way to go forward with this is I like to bring up my concept art. So we're going to go back into our program and make sure we know what this texture is. So, we're going to make sure that we get a texture made of that. And we're going to export that. Same way we did. And I'm just going to name this one Concept. Now in object mode, if we can hit Shift A, we can add a plane. Hit R and then X. 90, we'll flip it right up. We'll put this over here. We're going to do a new texture. And we're going to pull up that image texture that we just made of the concept art. I'm going to edit mode. Oh, I did it under subsurfaces. Whoops, daisies. Gotta go base color. Desktop. Alright, so now we can blow this up and go to our jacket. So we can use this as our reference. So as we see, we can start colorizing this jacket piece. We'll go back into object mode and select our upper body. We can select the front facing view and go into wireframe mode. And we want to click most of the jacket, leaving those two remaining sides in there. Want to make sure that we selected everything by going back to color mode. Make sure you select the back. And now what we're going to do with this guy, make sure we assign it to the HK jacket. We're going to hit A and then S to size down. And then we're going to move it to the texture that we want the actual jacket to be. So it's that guy. So not much. It's just not much difference. And now we can add, we could start adding some stuff here. This is the upper part in here. I mean, you can obviously make the hood and stuff. I'm not going to sit here and do that because I want to just mostly show the material on this guy because we built last time. I had a lot of requests to show how to colorize, so I really wanted to show this lesson. So, we can A and then G, just move, start getting these different areas colored right. So we can see that we probably want to move that guy to this more greenish, weird color. Just going through and adding these new colors in. If we wanted to add the puffiness stripes, the way we could do that is adding a loop cut. And just, instead of clicking once, you click and hold, you can drag it up and down. And we could just go right through this and add some lines in. Once we have our lines created, we can go into face mode again and select those little lines that we just created. Same thing, we hit A on the keyboard, S to size down, make sure she's small. Hit G, start moving around. And then we know that that was not black, it was a lighter gray. So we could do that. Start adding this stuff in. Just making it look puffy. We could even play with the verts to come in or out, making it more puffy. We could also go into front view and make it puffy this way. And then we hit S. And then we hit S. Then we hit S. And again, we hit S. And this is literally just adding these wrinkles like we did in the last episode. And you can then adjust these guys to accommodate. So it's basically very easy to create these textures all on one texture map. It's very easy to also, use seamless textures that, just make up a simple jean jacket. You want to make sure that, you have your design concept first at hand, knowing, is this going to be more realistic or is this going to be more gamed based? That's a big question you need to ask yourself before getting into the wearable creating. So, I'm just selecting, highlighting, bringing things in. You could do whatever you want here. Alright. So yeah, we're just playing around with these textures. We can add in if we wanted to make them have elbow pads, like on typical jackets have. We just select the same faces uniquely on both sides. Just add a little bit of a lighter color. Just to throw it off a little bit that it's kind of like a padding. We can also make tiled textures in here. Sizing up each one of these guys, using it as a demo. You could virtually make a stained art style art piece in here. You could also make this transparent in here and have it look inside. If you've seen the Dapcraft jacket, you can see the stars inside. So they open up the front with a transparency front, and then they have a star occlusion on the inside. And you can kind of make it seem like you're looking into a solar system of somebody's chest. So again, we're just going to go back to our graphic program and open up that document we were working on. And also note that, if we wanted to do different colors, we're always welcome to. We have them all placed where they are on the color map. All we would virtually have to do is change the shade and keep the same spot. So if we crank these all up to like say red, this would give us all the same shades we just had, but on a different color scheme. So, I'm just literally moving this, but I'm not touching this guy because that needs to stand still because we gathered from the concept these colors contrast. So we want to keep that up. Turn this down. And as you see, it didn't really turn these guys red. These guys turned red. But they're all a shade of red because they're built from red. So that's one thing to kind of play around with. One thing to note is the colors you see on your computer might not be exactly what they are in the game. So you need to make sure that these colors, when you test them out in world, they're going to actually work in world. You want to make sure that they are colors that are pleasing to you, something that works just for you. I'm also sorry about the Pope today. I was having some issues uploading it, and I'll have to figure that out for next week. I was just running a little late, and I wanted to make sure I could still do the class. So
it's not just you on the pull-up. It's the actual pull-up site is down.
Yeah, they're kind of mad right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something internally going on there. But yeah, so I mean, it's just been a little bit of a pain. I wish I could have gotten you guys one. Everyone who's joined us on the Discord call, if you want to message me after, I will send you a katana if you don't have a katana already. I always love that I'm seeing, a relatively good group of students that are always coming. I definitely want you guys to be hooked up with some katanas, just in case you guys don't have any. But yeah, so the Pope thing, that's always fun in games. So is there any questions? Any questions? Anything at all?
I have one.
Absolutely.
Let's say you want to combine a realistic color like like I asked last week on the gold, but if you want to like make it where let's say you do a robe like the blue dragon, and you want to make it more realistic with the little waves, and it's not just a flat piece
Color.
of clothing. How would you mix that like that and not have it like glitching in and out?
Absolutely. Okay, so what we would do is, we can do this on Google too. You got to make sure it's a free texture. So, seamless clothing texture free. We can either do that, or we can either do seamless crushed gold. So let me see if I can find a good seamless crushed gold. I think I have one. Let me search. I do. Okay. Okay, so we have this texture loaded up here. If we wanted to do, like how I did the blue dragon, it's a little bit of a trick. So the way the trick works is you use two textures to the absolute max. So you make one of those basic textures that I had. I had two different ones. I had a crushed velvet that was plain, just like this gold one. And then I had a crushed velvet with the dragon in it. And then I would use that dragon to then stretch across the surface. You can do it with a single item if you really wanted to. So I'm just going to show you how this works. So we're going to just export this guy. So if we were to use this guy, and select all, and cube unwrap. Oopsies. So, you know, if we just did a basic cube unwrap, it's gonna look a little confusing. You know, it does look good, but if you zoom in, we can see these lines. If we wanted to get rid of those, we just have to hide them in the sense of our texturing skills. So what we're gonna do is having it all selected again. You can run through these different like textures. This is just a basic unwrap. You know, let's see how that looks. Look at that. We don't see many lines at all. That looks pretty much completely blended. Let's go into object mode and double check. Look at that. We don't see any lines really. And we literally just used one 5x12 texture. And you know, it's not losing the quality. You know, if you stretched it out to the full image, it would have a pretty blurry quality. The more you stretch it out, the more detail will come in. You know, we're going to start seeing some patterns. We can use that to our advantage. We can rotate. We can add these different, like, it almost looks like diamonds. And then if we wanted to, like, put another texture on top of that, like here, we can just add a new material. We could bring up that last one we made. Alright. I'm gonna assign that. You know, I'm just doing this for reference. So virtually this could be any color. And you could then stack, you know, stuff on here. You know, if you wanted to make this, the shirt was, the inside shirt was more flat. You know, we can do that. What just happened? We forgot to assign the material. There we go. Make sure our specular is down. It just adds it more of a flat color. But yeah, does that kind of answer your question of how to stack a flat color with a highly textured color?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Is there any other questions or any, I mean, it doesn't have to be about materials either. I usually carve out the last bit if anybody has anything that they would like me to demo live, or otherwise, you know, we can just continue from there. Does anybody have anything specific? Don't be shy. Okay, it doesn't seem like we have any questions. So basically, this is pretty much what I've prepared for today. This is going to be our lesson for today. This is just a basic material lesson. And then basically, we are starting to run into an area of I need the community's help to learn what you guys want to learn. I've kind of showed all the tips and tricks off of my top of my head. I would love to hear some different things, or even, I know Cryptsanon's in here. Would you be ever interested in doing a Wearable Wednesday, where we bring you on and kind of show your technique?
Oh yeah, definitely. We can schedule something.
Absolutely, we would love to set something up. We had Daddy Chang come a couple weeks ago and do a little live demo, and we're just trying to get as much education to the people as we can, and that's the biggest thing with this. We're trying to pass on as much as we know, and just do it to the next person, pay it forward so they know how to do it. You know, we all can't learn this stuff by cruising the internet, and if we can help each other, you know, that's going to be huge.
Of course, of course.
So yeah, I'll be
I've
doing.
basically done everything through you. I've go on YouTube, Hiroto Kai, and look up anything I need help with.
Absolutely, too. And I mean, if anybody, wearable creators, please reach out to me. You want to just demo, you want to say hi. It doesn't have to be wearables either. We could do a builder series, whatever you want to do. I just really love to open this up to my warriors, you know, making sure that anybody who wants to be able to come up and talk, educate a little bit can. I am going to throw in the Discord after the call just a little Google form I'm going to set up just to kind of submit some questions and demo things that we can work on to bring out some better content. Like I said, you know, I've run through a lot of the stuff off the top of my head. So I really want to, you know, branch out to see what else you guys are thinking, and maybe we could figure out something together. I don't mind demoing something live. If I have no idea what it is, we can figure it out together. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make that Google Drive once I, you know, finished the demo, and we'll get that in the Discord for you guys so you can start putting in some suggestions and stuff. I'll also put that on my Twitter. But before we go today, is there anyone who has any last minute thoughts of what we can work on before we head out? If not, our public section will be closed for the day, and as always, you can always message me and I'll get to you when I can. But again, we are free and open right now if you have any questions. Alright, so we're going to finish up this episode today. I'm going to upload this to the YouTube channel hopefully later tonight or tomorrow morning. I have been a little busy recently, so it might take me a second to get it up. Thank you guys for coming out. I really hope that this colorization, creating a texture lesson has really helped you guys. And again, anytime you have a question, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, thank you guys for coming on by and coming on down to Wearable Wednesday.
So thank you.
Of course.